Okay, so if you've ever dipped your toe into astrology, you've probably hit that classic wall of confusion. Am I my Lagna, my moon sign, or the sun sign that I've known my whole life? It's a real astrological identity crisis. So let's dive into this and finally clear it up.
Because that's the bottom line, isn't it? Which one of these signs is the real you? Well, by the end of this explainer, you're not only going to understand all three, but you'll also have a super clear method to find out which one is the most powerful in your own chart.
All right, let's start with the problem itself. It's this feeling of having like 3 different personalities assigned to you. And you know what? It can be incredibly frustrating. Just imagine this for a second. Your birth chart says your Lagna, your ascendant, is in go-getter Aries. But then your moon is in nurturing Cancer, and your sun sign is in practical Virgo. So you start reading the descriptions for all 3 and you're trying to make it all fit, and it just feels contradictory and messy. But trust me, this is a super common experience. The best way to think about this is to see them not as competing identities, but as your own personal cosmic committee. Each one has a very specific job. So, let's meet the members, shall we? First up, we have your Lagna, which is also known as the Ascendant. Now, this is simply the zodiac sign that was literally rising on the eastern horizon at the exact moment you were born. Think of it as the CEO of your chart. It's your default setting, it's your physical body, and it's your primary interface with the world.
So, here's the crucial part. The Lagna is all about your temperament and that immediate vibe you give off to people. It governs your physical health and how you get things started. This is the part of you that takes charge when you start a new job, move to a new city, or walk into a room full of strangers. It's your instinctive first response self. Next up on the committee is your moon sign. This is simply the sign the moon was hanging out in when you were born. And if the Lagna is your public-facing interface, the moon runs your entire internal world. The moon is intensely personal. It's your emotional wiring, your deepest needs, and how you react when you're feeling the pressure. This is the you with the mask off, the you that really shows up when you're at home, with your family, or with people you trust completely. It's your ultimate comfort zone. And finally, we have the most famous member of the committee, your sun sign. This, of course, is determined by the sun's position at your birth. So while the Lagna is your interface and the moon is your inner world, the sun represents your core purpose, your ego, and your life force. The sun is that part of you that really wants to shine and be recognized. It fuels your sense of direction, especially when it comes to your career and your public life. It kicks into high gear when you're giving a presentation, stepping into a leadership role, or maybe accepting an award. It's your identity on a public stage. Okay, so we've got the CEO, the inner emotional world, and the public persona. They all matter, for sure, but which one do people who are really into astrology actually connect with the most? Let's shift gears from theory to what the data actually shows. Because when you ask a bunch of astrology enthusiasts which sign feels most like them, the answer might really surprise you, especially given how popular sun sign horoscopes are. The results are pretty striking. In a survey of about 50 enthusiasts, a whopping 85% said they relate most to their moon sign or their Lagna, or a combination of the two. This just brilliantly shows that for so many of us, our inner emotional world and our immediate temperament feel way more authentic than our public-facing sun sign. And what about the sun sign? A mere 3.8%. That's it. I mean, that is a fascinating disconnect, right? Especially considering it's the one sign that pretty much everyone knows. It just goes to show that our deepest identity isn't always the one we're known for publicly. So, the popular vote clearly goes to the moon and Lagna. But hey, we shouldn't just follow the crowd. Astrology actually gives us a really precise way to figure out your chart's most valuable player. Let's look at a simple, ancient method to find your personal power sign. The tool we're going to use is called Shadbala. In a nutshell, Shadbala is a system that calculates a numerical string score for each and every planet in your birth chart. It's a way to move beyond just descriptions and get a clear, objective measure of influence. And you know what? It's surprisingly easy to use. First, you just find the Shadbala table in your astrological report. Second, you look for a specific unit of measurement called rupas. And finally, you just compare the rupa score for our 3 key players, the sun, the moon, and the planet that rules your Lagna. That's your Lagnalo. Let's walk through a real example. So, in this chart, the person has a Pisces ascendant, which is ruled by Jupiter. Looking at the rupa scores, we see the sun is at 6.3, the moon is at 6.0, and the Lagna lord, Jupiter, is at 6.7. See that? With the highest score, Jupiter makes the Lagna, the Ascendant, the strongest and most influential of the three. It's really that simple.
So now you know how to find your chart's MVP, but what if one of your big three is on the weaker side? See, the goal isn't just to lean on your strengths, it's also about supporting your weaknesses. So let's get into some practical fixes.
Okay, if your Lagna is weak, you might experience things like low stamina or feel like you always get off to a shaky start on new projects. The fixes here are really grounded and physical. Prioritize consistent sleep, maybe consider strength training to build up your body. Even a simple habit like dressing in a way that feels totally authentic to you can help ground your Ascendant.
A weak moon often shows up as mood swings, anxiety, or maybe that persistent feeling of being unsupported. The fixes here are all about emotional and physical regulation. Things like consistent meal times and staying hydrated really stabilize the nervous system. And practices like journaling can give you an outlet and help you process emotions without leaning too heavily on other people.
And if your sun is the weak link, you might struggle with low confidence, burnout, or a feeling that your efforts just go unrecognized. To build your sun, you have to build your vitality. Getting some morning sunlight is a powerful and direct fix. And on a practical level, consciously practicing visibility, like speaking up in a meeting and seeking out a mentor, can really strengthen your sense of purpose and authority.
Ultimately, this whole debate over which sign is best kind of misses the point. The source material puts it perfectly. Every single part of your chart is important. The real work, and where the real power is, comes from bringing them all into balance. So, as we wrap this up, the question isn't just, who am I? It's really, how can I best support all the parts of who I am? Whether your strength lies in your Lagna, your moon, or your sun, what's one small, practical step you can take today to honor and strengthen that core part of yourself?